not only from Facebook and YouTube.
I don't see it.
Just give it a second. But our website, this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's crazy. My website is down. So you normally can watch it live at whenyouneedafriend.com, but not today. But they're working on it now. Robert is my superhero with a cape, and he's getting that taken care of. Okay.
I hope so. I hope I earned that.
You always have. You always earned that, Robert. If not, you're in trouble. Okay. So let me go ahead and hit the record button, because we're going to have a wonderful conversation with an old friend. Not an old person, but an older friend. Oh, you know what I mean. Let me hit the record button. Let me hit the recording. Okay, everybody. It is time to get in the moment. It's time to release some of the preconceived notions of what it's like for you to be healthy, and fasten your seatbelt and do something that'll make you get out of your mind, which is to dance. Here we go. It's time to dance.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of you who are tuning on to the classroom right now, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative and natural ways to heal. And it is my mission to bring awareness, responsibility, and truth, a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace inner truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, as you know, I had a radio show a long time ago, 2011, and I walked away in 2019. So what happened is during that time, I fell in love with so many different people. I learned and grew with lots of different people, but then I walked away because of censorship. In 2019, I walked away and I entered into this virtual world of social media. And guess what? We're being censored now too. So this information isn't getting out there. I don't know if Andrea Beaman is having this issue, but I know I am. And I need for all of you to share, to tag, to text, because we are the 99%. And we can overcome any algorithm. So please right now, share, like, follow, tag, whatever you can do to help get this information out, because we're going to be talking about how to restore our health naturally with none other than holistic health coach Andrea Beaman, who has been, it's been 4 years she's been in the classroom, and it's as if she never left. The moment we saw each other, we connected right away. And I hope that you will fall in love with her as much as I love Andrea. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Andrea is here to do just that. Welcome back to the classroom, Andrea.
Oh, it's good to be with you, Lily. You know, it's funny. I was looking at you and I'm looking at me, and it looks like I should be in Florida and you should be in New York.
I know. Exactly right. But I'm in the classroom, so it's really cold in here. So Andrew, share a little bit about your background and what led you to your passion to become a holistic coach.
Well, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition 25 years ago, and my doctors had recommended radioactive iodine to destroy my thyroid and then be on medication for the rest of my life. And at that time, I questioned the authorities and I said, no. I said, I'm going to change my diet and my lifestyle. And they said, your diet and your lifestyle have nothing to do with your disease. So that was my first step into the natural healing world. And I never looked back, Lillian. And my health, I can't even begin to tell you, I'm so happy that my health is good and my vitality is good, no comorbidities, not worried about the next, can't even say it to roll through. Can't even, yeah, next thing to roll through the human population. Not worried about any of that stuff because I'm not enslaved or indoctrinated into a system that does not actually get to the root cause or heal on a preventative level. Yeah, not knocking that system. If I fall down the stairs, you take me to the hospital. But when it comes to prevention and healing of disease, don't put me anywhere near a hospital or a doctor that's been indoctrinated into a pharmacopoeia that doesn't make any sense. The pharmaceutical industry is just bought and paid for all of the institutions that we have erected to this day. So, is that a long story?
No, keep going. I mean, it's like every cell of my body is like, it's like I'm going back to all the years that you had been in the classroom or in the radio show, actually. That's why we added the Lillian McDermott radio show classroom to the end of it, because when I walked away from radio, which was really suppressing this information, it was really suppressing this information. And I needed to consider sponsors that I wasn't going to do them justice. I wasn't going to do a good job with them. And so I made that decision to walk away and move towards what I really wanted to create. And so when I hear you saying those things with the passion that you do, it makes me go back and think, oh gosh, why has 4 years gone by? We haven't even, but you've been busy. We've been busy doing things to create bring love into the world that's natural love as opposed to synthetic love. And so what I'm saying is that, both of us have this passion for natural health, but then you'll get somebody who loves natural health as well, but doesn't have that excitement and like every morning is like yay, like Tigger from
Winnie the Pooh.
When Winnie the Pooh, that's right. That's like we get up and we're like, yay, this is a great day, even if there's disasters out there, because we know better than to be fearful, because we know that our body is healthy and our body was created to be healthy. And here's the thing. I had mentioned to you off the air that I've been affected by mold or impacted by mold, and so has my husband. And no allopathic doctor has been able to pinpoint it, identify it, maybe even question it. And so for many years, I've gone with these like symptoms that a healthy person should never have. And I love hearing you say that you don't have any symptoms, anything wrong, and they wanted to radiate your thyroid. So,
well, also, something to keep in mind is that just because you're healthy doesn't mean that you're never going to get sick. Right. What it means is that your body, your environment, your internal environment has a better chance of healing when it gets sick, as opposed to somebody that is, let's say, think about the body as a water system. Let's say it's a stagnant pond filled with murky mosquito larvae, right? And all the slugs that you can imagine. And right. So if you think about the body that way, if you have a body that has clear running water, the systems are flowing well, then illness can come or a sickness can come and the body is better able to handle it. As opposed to the body comes in contact with a virus or a mold or a toxin or something like that. So let's say you weren't in the healthy state that you are now, and you got exposed to some toxic mold, you might not have made it out alive, right? So your body said, okay, I'm having some challenges. It woke you up. You said, I got to make some changes. And then whatever you did, supplements or herbs or whatever it is, and it starts to clear, as well as getting out of the moldy environment. Right? Because you're always breathing in those mold spores and they're going to affect the lungs as well as the skin. Right? So just because you're healthy doesn't mean you're never going to get sick. It just means that when the sickness comes, you'll be able to handle it better. You're not going to be one of the death toll, that comorbidity factors of the past 2.5 years. That's not what you're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, on top of that, there's been a lot of fear.
Oh,
There's been
heck
fear.
yeah.
And fear will damage your DNA, will change your genetics, will change the way your body functions. And talk about the mosquitoes and the stagnant water. Fear is what I'm getting from everybody. And I'm saying, fear, if you live your life with fear, then you will succumb to whatever it is, because the mind is that powerful.
That's right.
That we can manifest whatever they're saying that's going to happen to you.
That's right.
We can create that with our brain. Anything you'd like to add to that before we get too
100%.
controversial? I got my pad here ready to write if I need to write.
Whatever we can't say, we'll just write. I agree with you 100%. You said something very smart before. You said, some people are healthy, but they don't wake up with a vibrancy for life or a passion for life. And you said you wake up and you're like, yay, another day and sunshine, right? So that is also speaking to your cells. That's your mind is speaking to the body on a cellular level. And it's saying, this place is awesome. This life is great, right? So there's going to be a totally different vibration in here. But if you wake up in the morning, no matter how healthy you're eating or whatever supplements you're taking or whatever you got going on, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh God, I can't go outside. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. There's war happening here. There's a monkey thing going around. There's the next, whatever it is coming through the population, right? If you're in that state, then first of all, you're going to attract to you those things. And secondly, you're going to tank your immune system, right? Because stress is going to tank the immune system every single time. You don't get enough sleep because you're stressed out, right? You're not healing well because you're stressed out. Your body's on hypersensitive because it's stressed out, having a reaction to everything. So that waking up with that passion to be in the world. Yes, I'm alive. I'm here today. I may not be here tomorrow with what's going on in the world. I live in New York City. They could drop a bomb and blow New York up in 3 seconds. It's only this big, right? So all of that is a possibility. So let's say that is a possibility. Well, then what am I doing on my last day on the planet? Am I in a crappy mood? Am I angry at the people in my life? Am I eating bull crap food that doesn't make me feel good? Right? What am I doing on the last day that I have here on earth? So if we start to think about, well, this day is the only day that I have, or even bring it even closer. This moment is the only moment that I have right now. Make it the best moment. Make it the best moment ever.
I love that. Okay, so I've got to go back to saying, what if this is the possibility? There's a possibility that this is the last day or the last moment or whatever it is. The thought of that possibility, the brain does not know if it's real or if it's not real. The brain will process it as if it's happening.
That's right.
That's why most people are experiencing diseases of the fight or flight. They're like stressors. And so there are certain things that just as a refresher for those of you who are, that are following the classroom, that are students and writing little notes, the brain doesn't know the difference between do or don't. It just focuses on it just acknowledges what you're focusing on. So if you're focusing on what you don't want, you'll create more of what you don't want because that's what you're focusing on.
That's right.
Second, it doesn't know if fact from fiction. It doesn't know if it happened 30 years ago or if it's happening now. The moment you think it's happening now. And it doesn't know who it's angry with. It assumes it's you. So we need to just use this information and use it to our advantage. So with that in mind, we're looking at how do we restore our health? You as a coach, which is you're a health coach, I'm a life coach. And so here we go. The combination of the two will probably go back and forth because it does make a difference in our life. Our mindset does make a difference. And it's not the possibility because the brain doesn't understand possibility. It understands it's happening. So
Yeah.
if you're focusing on a negative possibility, your body is going through that. If you're looking at a positive possibility, then you're focused on that as well. So with you, when you're dealing with people that have health issues, how much do you let them become aware of the mindset and how that is so important, that if they're trying to fix their body, if they don't change their mindset, it's going to take a long time to change their body.
Yeah. So when it comes to mindset, the fact that somebody reaches out to me to coach them on diet and lifestyle, I know that their mind has already been shifted in a specific direction, right? Nobody's reaching out to me and then saying, hey, listen, I want to hire you as my health coach, but I'm going to continue eating pizza every night and a 6-pack of beer and doing shots of tequila. Right?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
It's okay once in a while, but you can't do it on the daily.
Yeah.
Right. So I already know that their mind has been shifted in a specific direction that's going to take them on a journey. And my job is to guide them on that journey. So they come to me, and the first thing that I want to do is I want to get them into a healthier physical state of being, right? So the body, your body, my body, is a compilation of everything that we ingest physically, right? There's no separation from us and our food. We literally are what we eat. So first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that their diet is in alignment with a healthy environment. So fresh, organic, naturally raised, no chemicals, no pesticides. That is all crap. It's all crap, and it's going to create a crap body and a crap experience. So first, we shift them and get them focused on food, making the better food choices or the best food choices that they can as often as possible.
Correct. Yeah.
And then, of course, we're going to go deeper into the system, because the physical body is only one manifestation of our human experience. We have an emotional body, we have a spiritual body, we have an energetic body. And then once you get beyond all that, which is a much bigger conversation, we have a universal body, which is connected to everything in the entire everything, right? That's a big thought. So mostly I just start with, let's start with fresh food.
Let's start with fresh food. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
Start with fresh food.
And you can take baby steps. And if I had Dr. Joel Furman in front of me and I say baby steps, he'll say, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't take those baby steps. Sometimes it's cold turkey. Sometimes you're at that point where your alarm is ticking and there are like 10 bombs attached to your body. And so sometimes you just can't do the baby steps. For those people, I'm sure that you do. It's like your house is burning. Your house is burning. So it's time to get out. It's time to bail. It's time to bail. Okay. So Andrea is coming with gifts today. She is giving a gift called it's a food as medicine. And so it's a guide. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll tell you how you can get that free ebook. So let's start with, we've covered the energy, the physical, the spiritual briefly. So let's talk about how do we start restoring our health naturally? Like for me, I need to get this mold out of my body, whatever that means for me. And we started the M-Cube detox experience. And I'm encouraging all of you to go to whenyounneedafriend.com. Robert just texted my superhero with a cape. He just let me know that the website is up and running. You can watch the classroom today at whenyounneedafriend.com. So with that in mind, we are going to start this journey about, okay, how do we start the stepping forward and restoring our body naturally?
Okay. So I'm going to go to one of the oldest recipes known to mankind, at least our version of mankind from 5,000 years ago, the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine. It's a Chinese medicine book on the internal organs and how to make the body balanced. And one of the first, or actually the first recipe that they have in that book to regenerate the body and bring strength, believe it or not, is something called rice soup.
What?
Literally, rice.
Oh,
soup.
rice. I thought you said lice. I'm like, I am not going to go there.
Rice soup. No, rice soup. And in the ancient book, which is 5,000 years old, they talk about how that helps to regenerate energy. I mean, even 5,000 years ago, people were going against, probably eating what they weren't supposed to eat, or just not eating well, or whatever happened.
They didn't have Yo-Hos back then.
No, they didn't have Ho-Hos or ding
Yeah.
dongs or anything like that.
No,
But
they didn't
had-
have processed food. Everything was, it was made from scratch.
Yes. So this is for the debilitated and the weak. And we know it today as congee, Congee. It's like a rice soup, and you could put mushrooms in. And generally they would put some mushroom in. And you know the mushroom craze that's going on today. And it could have been shiitake, maitake, enoki. It could have been any of the mushrooms, but all of them help to stimulate the immune system and bring the body back online. Some of them are immunomodulators. Some of them are immunostimulants, right? So that helps to bring the body back online, literally, because what is the immune system? Our protection, right? It protects us. So this is a recipe, a little rice soup, literally, that they would put in onion, mushroom, ginger, ginseng, something like that. And it was like 1 cup of rice, 10 cups of water. So the reason why they would use so much water, first and foremost, is because liquids expands it. And not only that, it's so much easier to digest. When someone gets sick, right? Chicken soup, broth, vegetable soup, right? All of these are very healing, because if we look at from the physiological standpoint, you look at the human body, what is the majority of what we're made of? Water.
Yeah.
Water. So we need to nourish that water element inside the system. So soups and broths and stocks, all of that helps to nourish the system and bring it back online. So I mean, I would start there. So my Food is Medicine book talks about the difference between a soup and a stew and a braise and a saute, and why, if you're down with a sickness, I wouldn't have any grilled foods, right? It tightens the proteins. It makes it harder to digest. Put it into a soup, put your vegetables into a soup, put your meats into a soup, put your fungi into a soup, because it makes it much easier to absorb and digest. Not only that, but your lymphatic system, which is clearing all of the debris, is another water system in the body, right? So we have to, if the body is sick or not feeling well, it needs a water system that is flowing well. And if you're dehydrated, that water system's not flowing well. And so many people tell me, oh, Andrea, I drink a lot of water and I'm still getting sick all the time. Part of that is because the water is simply passing right through them. There's nothing to hold the water in the system. And that's where all of your other elements come in really handy, right? Like, let's say you put seaweed in the water. Now you have a mucilaginous water, right? Even when you put your vegetables in the water, now you have all of these different salts and minerals that are in the water, which helps your body hold on to the water better. And I'm not talking about hold on to the water like in the form of edema, where you get swollen. Holding on to the water so that that water can nourish the cells, right? It becomes, the water element becomes the nutrition pathway to get the food into the blood cell, and the blood cell into all of your systems.
Okay, so when you're talking about rice, when you're talking about adding the seaweed, when you're talking about the water, are you talking about drinking water? Or are you talking about the water of the soup?
Well, you could do either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I just want a clarification. When you say people can't hold their water, are you saying that it's just going through them and just washing them out without giving them any nutrients? Or
yes.
Okay.
And when that happens, they become mineral deficient, right? So let's say somebody they say, I can't drink water because then I'm urinating all day long. It shows that the kidney and the bladder element in the body is deficient or weak, right? So you should be able to hold on to your water because you're made of water. And when we get dry, what happens to us? We get brittle. Right? We get brittle bones. The immune system doesn't work well. The lungs get dry, and then that's a big problem for a lot of people. So we want to be able to actually hold on to our water and then excrete the water that we don't need and the stuff that we don't need, whether it's the water soluble proteins, right? The protein waste, and all of the other waste that needs to exit the body. But we do need the water to hold on in our cells, because we are water. We're literally a walking water environment, and it needs to be a healthy water environment. So as we age, and here's a good one. As we age, we naturally get drier. Naturally, it's a natural process that happens as our cells get a little bit weaker, right? It doesn't mean that you're gonna, like, as soon as you dry out, you're gonna die. That's not what it means. But this is one of the reasons why elders have a harder time when an illness comes into the body, right? So generally speaking, if someone would get a flu and they were an elder, they would be more likely to pass from that flu because the water element can't get the nutrient where it needs to go because their system is drier, right? They're more dry skin, dry internally. Their lushness, their fluidity is becoming less as they move toward the other side of life.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't need a physical body once you pass through as a human being, right? You're having this experience as a human, you're in a physical body, and then you're getting all your learning and you're having all this amazing experience. You're seeing sunrises in the morning and you're walking along the beach. And then as you're getting finished with the human body, you don't need it to be lush. It's going back to the earth and spirit's going on, right? You're not going to need a physical body anymore.
Mhm.
So it's like a natural aging, drying process that happens. That's why elders, like I said, are more susceptible to, let's say, dying from the flu or even a cold or a pneumonia that comes in.
Mhm.
Their immune system may not be able to handle that thing that's coming in.
Mhm.
So I forget who it was, Hemingway, that said pneumonia is an old man's best friend,
Mm.
right? Because at a certain point, you may not want to be here anymore,
Yeah,
right?
correct,
You'd be like,
correct.
okay, I had all these really cool experiences. I can't walk, I can't see, I'm out of here, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
this is stuff to think about. And I know people don't like to talk about death, but death is a natural part of life. We're not here forever. We're here for a brief little window of time. So make it the most lush, wonderful experience while you're here, and then take your experiences and move on.
Beautiful. I like that. I like that. You know, I did a workshop, 2 workshops with Dr. Lorraine Day. I don't know if you know who she is, but I'll just show you. We did the Book of Revelation and we did the
Oh.
100 lessons from the Exodus with her. And one of my biggest takeaway is that to God, death is temporary.
Yeah.
And I just love, you can get this online as well as on DVD. So people that are interested in this, you can go to whenyounneedafriend.com now that it's up and running and check it out. So with that in mind, we hold on to this things of this earth, and that creates resistance. And I know that when my body's in resistance, or when I know that I'm in resistance, that's when I'm the weakest. That's when I'm more susceptible. That's when I need more vitamin C, or that's when I need a little bit more rest, when there's that resistance. And stepping out of that resistance is always like a birth. It's a birth into what's going to come. And there's an excitement of that once you have that mourning period, once you have that, but not make it too long. Like I always give myself time to process, but then after that, it's time to move on. It is what it is. But many people get stuck in what is not. So any tips for people, because that will also help them rejuvenate their cells to know how to step out of what is not into what is.
So I'll bring it to the cellular level first.
Okay.
All of your cells are born and all of your cells die. Every single cell in your body has a birth and has a death. The ones that don't die are cancer.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? They just keep multiplying and multiplying, and they're
They're
mutagenic.
the zombies of our body.
That's right. That's right. So cancer is a great example of that not letting go, or inability to release, or that lack of death.
Good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a teacher many, many years ago, and he said the only permanent thing in this lifetime is change. Right? Everything else is impermanent. Everything is constantly changing, constantly in flux, constantly birthing and dying, birthing and dying, birthing and dying. So when we hold on to whatever it is, and I took it down to the cellular level, because one of the things that preservatives do. Like if you look at our food supply, which is
Okay.
loaded with things to keep it from dying, and it could stay on the shelf for 10 years. A Twinkie is a good example, maybe 20 years, right? Good example. So that food substance doesn't decay and it doesn't break down. And then we eat that. So energetically, we're having this lack of decay or breakdown inside the system as well. So that's going to be talking to our cells and saying, I don't want to break down. No, I've been programmed to stay alive for whatever, right? So I'm a firm believer that, again, we go back to fresh food, right? And then fresh thoughts. Right? Fresh thoughts, right? Because we could stay stuck, and a lot of people do. They'll stay stuck. Oh, this thing happened to me 10 years ago. And okay, so where is it now? Is it here in the present moment? Is it dragging you down? Is it ruining your life today? Something that happened 10 years ago? Or can you say, wow, that happened. What am I going to learn from that? How can I move forward? What's my next step? Because I got to keep going.
That's right.
I got to keep going. You know, I could stay stuck, but who's that going to serve? So the same thing with the physical body is the emotional body and the spiritual body. Like you said, you know, that life goes on. Of course it goes on. We're just passing through, right? Your whole thing is going to go on. Just leave your little body behind, right? You're not taking that. I'm not taking this body when I'm leaving this earth plane, right? So we have to look at like the microcosm from the one cell that won't break down and release and let go. Well, what's causing that? Is it the food that I'm eating? Is it the emotion around the thing? Is it the spiritual connection or lack of connection that's stopping that thing from breaking down and moving on? So we have many layers to look at, many layers.
Very good. And what about the assaults that we purposely give ourselves, knowing, I mean, people who smoke, people who drink excessively, people that are eating processed foods that know this isn't good. They're designed to addict us. What are some of the challenges that they will see if they don't, you know, if they continue to smoke, if they continue to do drugs and continue? I mean, there's different addictions. This doesn't have to be something that is like seen by people. It could be behind closed doors, like pornography addictions and addictions that
Addiction to the phone.
Yes,
How many people are
exactly.
addicted to their phone?
Is that a crack screen? Did I see a crack screen on that, or is that just like a? Okay.
No, it's a picture of Central Park.
Got it. I thought it was crack. I'm like, oh my gosh.
No,
Go ahead,
no,
go
it's
ahead.
it's a branches of a
So
tree.
let's talk about letting go of some of these addictions that are holding us back from that natural health.
Oh gosh, you know, that's a tough one. That's a really big topic. You know, there's Gabor Mate, you know, that psychologist or I don't know what is.
Yes, Mate. Yes.
Yeah. So he talks about addictions being trauma, unresolved trauma, which I think is really truthful.
Yeah.
You know, like all of the people that I have known in my life that have been addicted to one thing or another have had some type of trauma that hasn't been resolved. Right. So something impacted the emotional body, and the addiction is the soothing. Right. I don't want to be with this. I can't look at this. I don't want to feel that. So the addiction takes that away. It doesn't really take it away. You and I know it doesn't take it away, but it calms it down so that you could get through the day to the best of your ability, right? Without knowing or without the consciousness around, I really need to resolve that trauma, that thing that happened to me, whatever it was, fired from your job, parental abuse, you know, just something happened at school when you were 4 years old. You know, it could be anything could be little, it could be gigantic. And until that is resolved, there will always be a reaching out for the addictive thing, whatever it is, the addictive substance. And then if you look on the larger scale at the trauma of the world, right? So there is this fear trauma that's being thrown at the people over and over and over again. And when we first got on, you said you don't watch television. I haven't had a television in 25 years. So I'm with you, sister. That will ruin your mind. Oh my!
No wonder you're so happy.
It's It's true. I mean, I do watch shows with my husband. We watch stuff, but I don't have a television or a radio playing in the background or anything like that, because I know that there are advertisements that are going to give me some level of trauma. Oh, you're unhappy in school. Here, take this ADHD medication. Oh, you have arthritis and you can't get off the couch. Here's this other medication, right? So they're giving you trauma and relief constantly. So if you're bombarded by trauma or fear or whatever it is that they're unleashing onto the public, you're going to have this vibration inside you that's going, I need to be soothed. Give me the Coca-Cola, give me the Doritos, give me the ding dongs, right? Give me all that stuff. Give me the crap, because I need to be soothed, even though it's not soothing, but we've been conditioned and programmed to believe that that's the fun stuff.
And then the bacteria is released to protect us against this. And it's, I was talking to Dr. Day, and she says, there's no such thing as bad bacteria. There's good bacteria. It's all there they're the little soldiers. They're trying to help you, but then they get stuck because they don't have a way to get out. And so they're there. Smart. They release, they increase in numbers to help you. And the next thing you know, you have candida overgrowth, or the next thing you know, you have some form of overgrowth out of balance. And so everything that we are putting into our body is feeding the body so that it feels that it's in danger. And so now it's going to release the soldiers that we're supposed to, like they're there to protect, but all of a sudden they have to like raise the heat so that they can kill whatever it is, but they don't know how to get out, which is, what happens and what's happening with so many people in the last 2.5 years, with the way that they're feeling today. So before because I do want to talk about food as medicine, because, I believe that many people, and I don't know if you experience this, they want to know what they can do, and they get really excited and they write it down, and then it sits there, and then they know they have to do it or they can do it, but then it just sits there. But then when you're talking about the emotional aspect of it, they're not even gonna. Emotion that has nothing to do with my disease. And what we don't know is that it has everything to do. And so today, as I am speaking with you, and I'm so grateful to Andrea for coming into the classroom today, I want you to know that if you have a question, you can type in a Q. Write your questions in the comment section, and if we can get to it, we will. I'm not doing a teacher's pet corner, so get your questions in before the end of the class today. And if you want to learn more and be a part of the classroom and be informed, because right now, if you are subscribed to our website at whenyounneedafriend.com, you have all of Andrea Beaman's information. So go to whenyounneedafriend.com. Please subscribe, like, and follow me on all social media. And I am not going to focus on what they're doing. I'm going to focus on all of you hitting the share button, hitting the like button or the love button, and sharing it with your friends, whatever it is that you can do to help grow the classroom. I want you to go to my sponsors, support my sponsors the way that they're supporting the classroom. And also check out we're going to be starting on September 27th, which is the M-Cube Detox Experience. That's mold, metals, and microbes. That's from treatment to recovery with support, because it all started with support, because we were going to do this. And so Dr. Lee Cowden is overseeing this workshop. And if you go to my Shop Now bag, which all the products there are Lilly approved. If you go to the Shop Now bag, there's a little cube, the M3 cube, and you click on it, and then there's different things, different tests that you can take with percentage off, everything that you can put onto your body, your skin, that's natural, and no chemicals, no synthetics. It's so important that we don't, when we drain the tub, that or that if we have mud in our tub, that we unplug the tub, because if you start putting clean water in it and the tub is still clogged, then you're just going to get a tub full of muddy water. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to unplug the tub and allow some of these things to leave and exit your body. Last but not least, you can become an enrolled student in the classroom. You can donate $1 or $1,000 a month or a one-time donation. You can donate your time, your talent, your treasure. One quick thing that you can do, again, is like you can share this broadcast, like it, make sure that we break through these algorithms that cannot harm us because we are stronger. We're the 99%. So today we have Andrea Beaman. She comes with gifts. You can find her at andreabeaman.com. But tell them about your Food as Medicine ebook.
Oh, it's easy and simple. It gives you the knowledge and the confidence that you have medicine in your kitchen, right? So if you go right into your kitchen right now and you have rosemary, the herb rosemary, and you start to put that into your food in larger quantities, it's going to bring stimulant. It's a circulatory stimulant. It moves blood. It's going to bring blood up to the brain and to the extremities, right? So if somebody is cold and foggy brained and they can't think straight, increase your rosemary, right? So something simple like that, like everybody focuses on garlic. There's only so much garlic you can eat. There's lots of other herbs and spices that can bring healing to the body, including like when people tell me, oh, cinnamon, I'm just taking cinnamon all the time. Cinnamon, for my blood sugar. And then they're having like hot flashes or they're getting hot. It's because cinnamon is hot. It's warming and drying. So if somebody is warm and dry, like a woman going through menopause, if she's warm and dry and she's having cinnamon, she's going to have more hot flashes, right? So we have to look at food as medicine. So this book, this ebook shows you the constituents of foods, the healing constituents of food, how to make it work, how to put it into decoctions and infusions. And infusion is like this green tea that I had just now. It's an infusion, literally. The tea leaves sat in the water for 10 minutes. It was infused. So whatever were the healing properties of that green tea are now coming into my water system, right? So it just shows you how to make medicine with what you already have. Because let's say, moving forward, there's going to be another 27 lockdowns. It's a possibility. Moving forward, as we're coming into the next fall season, who knows what's going to happen in the world? You need to know that you have medicine at your fingertips, that you don't have to go anywhere if you don't need to, except maybe to the grocery store every once in a while, right? To pick up your stuff, or to the local farm to pick up the food that you need. And then you're covered. You're covered. You can make soups, stocks, stews, infusions, whatever you need so that you feel more confident. And when you're confident, you're going to be happy, right? If you're feeling fearful, then you're not going to be happy.
Well said. So let me go back to this rice soup. You can add whatever, as long as it's 10 cups of water and 1 cup of rice. You can add mushrooms. I just recently bought some. I am so lucky that Sunseed Co-op is right around the corner, and they were a sponsor many years ago. But I love them, and everything is organic. It's a co-op, and they have these bulk of spices, and they just started bringing mushroom powders.
Oh, good.
So I went ahead and I bought a bunch of them, and I mixed them all. I just put them in a bottle and I mixed them all. Can I put these in my stew? Will it reactivate the flavors and reactivate the benefits of it?
Yeah, there are some mushrooms that you actually cannot eat. Like reishi mushroom is one of them. You actually cannot eat the reishi mushroom, and you can eat the mycelium, but not the actual mushroom. It's too hard and woody. So generally that was decocted. Like literally they would take the reishi mushroom, chop it up into little pieces, and a decoction is cooking for like literally 3 hours, and you get that liquid. So the powders that you have may be that long decoction of the reishi mushroom, but like we're going into flu and cold and other viruses season. So I would actually start with reishi now, because reishi is an immunomodulator. It supports the heart, supports the lungs, supports the kidneys. It's been used for thousands of years. It has
Wow.
no contraindications, meaning nobody has ever died from reishi mushroom ever in the history of the human world.
If it were true, then we would hear from it in the news, right? If they would definitely. That would be newsworthy. Somebody dies from eating healthy. Oh, let's all jump on it. Okay,
put it right onto the front page, right? So like now this season, I would start to put in more mushrooms into the diet, and and that can include all of the shiitake, maitake, enoki.
Lion's mane. I got some lion's mane,
mane's great,
shiitake, and maitake. Those were the 3 that I got. I'm going to go
those
get
are
some
awesome.
more. I'm just being greedy. I'm just going to put them all in there. Just pour it in my soup. Okay. What else can we do? Because that's a great thing. But add vegetables, add mushrooms and onions and some garlic, whatever. So what else can we do?
You mean besides having soup at this time of year?
Yes.
Okay, so you had said something earlier, which was very smart. You said people get the information and they know they need to do it, and then they don't do it, and it sits on the table.
And then they feel guilty and shame and guilt, and that's such a low frequency, and then they get sick.
Yes. So you don't want to give them too much to do. No, you want to give them one thing to do.
Okay.
Try this one thing, whether it's adding more mushrooms into your diet on a daily basis, or B, trying some soups, some congee, right? And I have recipes on my website, andreabeaman.com. You could find a tofu and tuna congee. You could find a vegetable congee. Those are rice soups. And just try it and see how your body feels. So I don't want to give them too much to do. Just do one thing and see how your body reacts. Because when we get overwhelmed, and you could look at the world today as an example, there's an overload of information, and there's information coming out of everywhere that you look, and people are so confused. I hear all the time, Andrea, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. We just need to simple it down, right? I would say dumb it down, but I don't believe in dumbing it down. Simple it down. Do the one thing. You don't have to do 2,700 things. Do the one thing and see how you feel. And you also said something before about, the people just keep reaching out for the things that they know. They reach out for this bad thing and they reach out for that bad thing. And that's from the trauma. But if we could get them to reach out for one good thing.
Add one thing. Yes.
Yes. Add one thing. So I have a lot of clients that are addicted to sweets, which is, sweets are comforting and, they're soothing. And since we've been little kids, we've been taught, if you're good, you get the cookie. If you're good, you get the cake, right?
Are you sad? If you're sad, let's eat some cake. Let's have you break up. You got break up. Let's go get a pint of ice cream. Yeah.
Yes. So I still want them to have sweet. Because that's what they've grown to associate soothing with, healing, loving. So make sure that in the house you have blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, apples, pears, watermelon. Have fruit, because fruit is sweet and it's nature's cake.
My favorite is Mojule date.
They're delicious.
I put Mojule in all my pies. I haven't had sugar unless it's like an accident or something that somebody puts it in their food and they're like so excited to make it for me. But Mojule date, that's my sweetener, the actual date. And I've got my 6-year-old grandson who he sees me, he's, Mimi, can I have some Mojule? Can I have some dates? He loves them.
Yeah.
So I put that in my food when I'm making oatmeal. I add that to my oatmeal, and I don't add any stevia or anything like that. But I know that goes, some people like stevia. I just don't.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't like the chemical sweeteners. I like the regular sweeteners. But you're smart. You're starting the kid young, right? He's Mimi. He's associated Mimi, and I love Mimi, and she gives me Mojule dates. Mimi Mojule, right?
Mimi Mojule. Yes, I think I've got a new name.
So I was walking in Central Park the other day, and I saw a dogwood tree, and the flowering dogwoods, their fruit are edible. And
Really?
and in September and late September is when the fruit is ripe. So I brought home a couple of little dogwood fruits, and my nephew, who's 17, he's always curious. Like he likes like the weird looking fruits. And this looks like a really hard raspberry, hard coating. And I said, here, this is dogwood fruit. And try it. And he popped it open and he tried it. He was like, I said, what does it taste like? And he goes, oh, it tastes like a combination of mango plus pumpkin. And I was
Ooh.
like, you hit the nail on the head. That's what it tastes
Wow.
like.
I've never heard of dogwood fruit.
Yeah, well, it's not cultivated. They're not going to be in the local store. It's like something that you find when you're in your local park.
I could just picture you right now climbing a tree.
Well, it's a shrub, right? So they were right there, and they were easy to pick. But it's just getting his mind to think outside of the grocery store and outside of the box, right? That there's a lot of food. Let's say, Lillian, that they interrupt the food chain, which is a possibility.
Yeah.
In order for us to feel confident and happy, we need to know that we have access to food no matter where we are.
Yes.
Right. So if I can show my nephew that in Central Park, there's 20 different plants that he can eat, then he's not going to have that fear. Let's say when the grocery store is empty, he's not going to have that same fear. And it's just a retraining of the mind. Right? That reprogramming or deprogramming the old mind and reprogramming new mind to say, there's an abundance of everything available to me here on this planet. I just need to look elsewhere. There's an abundance of medicine. There's an abundance of food. There's an abundance of love. There's an abundance of everything.
You will find it if that's what you're looking for.
That's right.
And that's what you're focusing on. But if you're focusing on, you will find what you're looking for. So if you're looking for the world is upside down and horrible and chaotic, you will find that too. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left, and I mean, type a Q if you have a question. But I think that this is a question because I see a question mark. But I'm gonna make that a pass for Sharon. My girlfriend has the worst acid reflux, and she has an open ulcer, which makes her even worse. The back pain. What can you recommend? Her quality of life has changed. Please help.
Okay, so the first thing is, we talked about stress earlier. Every time that you're stressed out, your digestive juices are going to change. You're going to get more acidy when you're stressed out. So on the emotional plane, relax before your meals. Relax as much as possible. And then I would do something like, because it's the H. pylori bacteria when it's overgrown that creates the ulcers. So I would bring that population down. It doesn't have to happen after one serving of something like golden seal root, right? Which you can get in any health food store that helps to bring down the H. pylori population. You could also try a chamomile tea, right? Which helps to stimulate bile production and support the health of the digestive system. So there's lots of things that she can do. She doesn't have to suffer and lose her quality of life. But again, thinking outside the box. I would definitely do herbs with her, right? The herbs, they're much easier on the system. Like in Western medicine, they're going to drown you in antibiotics and they're going to destroy the microbiome. And then that ulcer is going to grow and continue growing year after year. It'll feel initially good, right? But then it'll keep growing year after year after year, and you'll get more ulcers. It's not a good road.
Not a good road. And what about chia? Because chia seeds are really good. Whenever I have like indigestion or anything like that, I use chia or ACV with water. Alcohol, not alcohol. Apple cider vinegar. It's like ACV. Do you ever do that?
So with apple cider vinegar, if you have low acid, that's the problem, apple cider vinegar boosts up your acid. And you need to boost up your acid because without proper acid in the digestive system, you're going to get an overgrowth of bacteria and you won't be able to break down your food. So ACV is excellent for low acid. And then what was the other thing that you said?
Chia seed, that's when I have an acid stomach, or if it's I will chew on chia seeds.
On chia. So chia,
organic.
That's good. Chia is mucilaginous, right? Chia, flax. Like if you put it in water and you let it sit,
like it's an egg.
Yes. So that mucilage that the chia creates inside the system is very soothing. Your entire digestive tract should be covered in a healthy mucilage. And if it's too dry, then you're going to have trouble with the stomach. You're going to have trouble with the intestines. You're going to have trouble with digestion. So you need that mucilage. Chia is great for that. Flax is great for that. Seaweed is great for that. Okra, right? You think about that gooey, right? Okra is great for that as well.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, because we got 1 minute before, but one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, with this situation, with this person, shouldn't you drink a lot of water? Can lack of water cause ulcers in the body because water is needed to create that mucus?
Yeah, so we need water, but remember we talked about earlier, sometimes water will pass right through the system. So for her ulcer, actually water with a pinch of salt would work better than just plain water.
Good.
Right? Because the salt will promote a healthy hydrochloric acid in the system. Like people that go on low salt or no salt diets will generally have lower hydrochloric acid, will have lower acid, which may not be a good thing. So you want to have a little bit of salt in the water.
Pinch. Yeah,
a little pinch of salt in the water. That would help that a lot.
Very good. Very good. Andrea, I can't believe this is the fastest hour ever. I'm
Time
so
flies.
grateful to you. Okay, for those of you who would like a copy of her book, which I'm going to get one, you go to AndreaBeaman.com/FAM, Food as Medicine. Thank you so much, Andrea. I'm looking forward to, maybe we'll have more conversations in the future. I'm looking forward to having more. And remember, you can go to AndreaBeaman.com. Okay.
Thanks, Lillian.
You're welcome. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott and Andrea Beaman wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Awesome. I love you.
Love you too, sister.
Hold on.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
So we have a quick question, Andrea.
Okay.
It's from Maria Elena. She says, Andrea, are the dogwood fruit the red berries I see on the dogwood trees?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You
It's the
can
red
eat that?
berries. You can eat them, but you have to make sure, ID it. Like there's something called Picture This you can get on your phone, and it's a plant ID. ID it first, make sure it's one of the edible dogwoods, and then if you take
well, that's important. Don't blame. Okay, edible dogwood versus non-edible dogwood.
Well, the other ones, they just don't taste. They're not. they're not going to kill you.
They're not going to kill you. Okay.
So you would take the red berry and just pinch it a little bit, and if it's soft in your fingers or if it has a little give, then that means it's ripe.
Okay, so, but what if it's not ripe? Can you still take it off and wait till it ripes before you eat it? Or do you wait until it's ripe before you pull it?
Yeah, wait until it's ripe before you pull it. Let the tree do its business.
Yes, there are a lot of, they almost look like ficus trees at the beach where I live. They have these like grapes. Maybe it's what it's called, a grape ficus.
Oh, isn't that a sea grape or something like that?
Maybe that's what it is. And I've been told that they're edible. And the other day I was walking on the beach and I saw like they had chopped some things down and there's like this branch of these berries or the grapes. And I almost got one. And I'm just like, there was a part of me like going, what if this is not the right thing? Can you eat those? Have you tried those?
I haven't eaten those, but get the Picture This app or one of the other apps at Plant ID. They're like Plant ID apps. And then take a picture of it and then look up what it is and whether or not, like you could find it on wild foraging websites, but are they called sea grapes?
I think so.
Sea grapes. So. Yeah. I think they are edible. I think, but I haven't tried them myself. That's a
I think
Florida thing.
I'm gonna just, I think I'm just gonna, if it happens again, I'm just gonna bring them home and I'll call you. Hey, let's FaceTime each other. I've got a little grape here. I want you to see. Picture this, Andrea. Flop.
It'll be a good death.
I don't need my body. I'm ready to go. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Andrea. Again, the website is AndreaBeaman.com FAM, which stands for Food as Medicine. So get your copy. I know I'm going to get one. And I want you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Please share this with everybody. We need to continue to grow and get this information out there. But I want you to consider doing the 12-week course with the M-Cube detox experience, which is mold, metals, and microbes, from treatment to recovery with support. So please consider joining us. We start on the 27th. And it's a 12-week program, but a 10-week detox. So we're going to be doing I believe it's a vegetarian keto, which is what Dr. Lee Cowden is going to be guiding us. And we'll have binders and things that we need to take to get some of this stuff out so that you can achieve that optimal health. Because if you're doing everything you possibly can do and there's mold in your body, you could have skin infections, you could have depression, you could have anxiety, fibromyalgia. There's so many things that are and if you've had, like I was showing Andrea before the show, look at these little white spots. My allopathic doctor will say, well, that's just sunspots. Well, why don't I have it all over my body? It's like I'm in the sun. Why didn't that part get the sun? And I learned when I was a kid that was a fungus.
Yep.
But nobody calls it a fungus anymore.
No, it is.
So
it is.
So do you think that that'll go away once I do the detox?
It might. It may get smaller. You'll see. But you may not have more pop up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's the key. You may not have
and
more
you
pop
see
up.
older people with that white tan kind of look, and vitiligo. You see people with that, and that is fungus, and nobody really calls it that. And they'll treat the symptom. They'll give you medication for the symptom, and they'll call it a diagnosis. And the person never really gets well enough to take the next pill.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's time to become our. That's right. It's time to become our own medical detective, our own MD.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for watching today. Please share this video with all your friends and help us grow. We'll see you soon.